Hey there, bold vocalists. It's Carissa. I don't need a light. I still got a little daylight. So today I want to walk you through some basic stuff, which I kind of forget sometimes that we need to go back and revisit this and have a really great working understanding of it in order to be a really effective singer. So this is great for beginners. I'm going to go pretty slow. And if you are not a beginner, I encourage you to kind of come backwards with me and slow down here as well, because knowing the relationships of the major scale and of some of these scale patterns we use in warm-ups are really essential to making sure that you know um, like the building blocks, right? These are the building blocks of singing, and the major scale is in pop. It's in every kind of song that we've ever heard. Not every, the minor scale, and there are other scales, but this one is the foundation, the building blocks. So let's start with just the major scale. Whoops. So the major scale. What is a scale? It's a pattern. It's a framework. It's just a set of relationships. So in the major scale, this is just for information. I don't need you guys to necessarily memorize this, but the major scale, if you understand half steps and whole steps, functions like this. Whole step, half step, hush puppies, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So whole, half, whole, half. Puss, come here, be quiet. Sorry. All right, so that's just a cool point of reference. You don't necessarily need to know that, but it is helpful because this scale degree 4 and 7, they get a little tricky sometimes because you don't move as far. So 1 to 2 is a whole step, 2 to 3 is a whole step, 3 to 4 is half step, 4 to 5 is a whole step, 5 to 6 is a whole step, 6 to 7 is a whole step, 7 to 1 is a half step. Okay? So, man, everything's going wrong. The dogs are barking. I got a frog in the throat. So the major scale can be sung on numbers 1 through 1 or 1 through 8, depending on which one you choose, and I'll explain why I like 1 in just a second. Or it can be sung on solfege, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You've probably heard that. Do, a deer, a female deer, re, a drop of golden sun. And if you're not familiar with the scale in that sense, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you could always go visit that fun little Julie Andrews Sound of Music video to get familiar with it. But I find that numbers are a lot actually more helpful to the scale than solfege for a couple of reasons. Solfege is cool, especially they use it in choral settings a lot. I learned it as a kid. It's really neat. But scale degrees are a little easier when you're talking about contemporary music and being in a band, because a band relates to scale degrees often. They're often going to be, oh, no wonder they're barking, my guy's home. They're often going to be talking about, hey, let's go to the 4, let's go to the 5. So you might not understand what I'm talking about now, but let me tell you, knowing these scale degrees is going to help you down the road when it goes to talking and communicating with a band. So we'll use numbers. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then we go back down. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? So the reason I say 1 when I get to the top instead of 8 is because this scale can loop over and over and over. So watch, I'll take it 2 octaves now. I'll start down here. It's very low for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So the human voice usually only has like 2.5 to 3 octaves in it. You're not going to be able to repeat that scale a whole bunch of times, but it is repeatable in music. So I prefer to use 1 instead of 8, because then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Weird, right? All right. So let's get to the meat of it. We're going to sing that scale up and down. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it in a different key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now notice I'm not trying for any power here. I'm not going for any kind of like super intense vocal tone. I'm just lightly singing through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you notice if I play it wrong on the piano, it sounds off, right? Because I got one of those relationships incorrect. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if I play a half step where there should be a whole step, it's going to sound wrong to your ear, and vice versa. And that's what allows us to move this scale all over the keyboard, is that framework stays the same every time. Lordy, this is a hard video to film right now. Pure chaos, but that's how the world works, so we're going to keep going. Okay. Now, this one is going to be our progressive scale degrees exercise. So I'm going to take us back to the key of C. We're going to add one scale degree each time. So we start on 1, we go up to 2, and then we go up to 3, and then 4. And we keep going all the way up until we get to the 1 at the top. And I'll show you with my voice how it goes. And then I'll do it a couple of times without singing so you have some room to practice this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was a little quick because I do this often and I tend to just fly through it. So I'm going to do it one more time using my voice with you and slow down just a bit so that you have some time to let your brain and your voice connect. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now again, notice I'm just going for the pitches and like those relationships. I didn't have super great breath support. There was nothing too exciting about my tone there. This is really about understanding the relationship of the scale. And so when I slowed down like that, I didn't quite make it all the way up and down that last time without taking a breath. And that's okay. If you need to sneak a breath in there, do it. This is more about getting your ear and your body to connect these relationships. So I'm going to play it 2 more times through without singing so you can practice it. Here you go. you do? One more try. Here we go. Okay. All right. So that one's probably one of the more complicated exercises we can do with the major scale. It's a little bit of a brain teaser, so definitely take your time with that one. You can always back up and watch this again and do it again and again till that really makes sense. But if you're having trouble with the major scale before you add all that, then just start there. Just get that major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get that really solid, and then we can move on. So the next one I'm going to show you is actually the 5-note scale, which we've done already within the framework of the major scale and in that progressive scale degree exercise, which is we're going to just make our way up to 5 and back down. And this is one of the most common vocal exercises you're going to hear. It's just used across the board by every vocal trainer I've ever met and heard and worked with. So it goes like this, and we'll change keys here again. So we'll start to move this one around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So one more in that key so you get your bearings, and then we'll start moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start going back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, a really quick note about the key change in between where I go. Sometimes I mess it up because I'm not a perfect piano player, but that's okay. So there's always the hit in the same key you're just singing in, and then the new key, either up or down a half step. And that opportunity, if you're new to warming up your voice, you might not know what to do here. And it's your opportunity to do two things. One is to breathe, and two is to hear the new tonal center, because we're moving that one around, right? So the one is in a new spot every time. And you need to give your ear a chance to hear that new one, and then let your body come meet your ear there. So a lot of people, when they start out, want to do this. They want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, and they sing it up, that half step. But really, I want you to cut off there and listen. It's so important to listen. We're so excited to sing and to do that we forget entirely to stop, breathe, and listen. And you're going to get a cleaner attack. You're going to get a more accurate pitch, and you're going to get a more supported tone when you stop and you breathe and you listen and then you sing. So that's an important singer skill that a lot of people gloss over. Last thing, I'm going to show you some jumps. This is called an arpeggio, and it just means we're rolling out the major chord scale degree by scale degree. Okay, so we're going to go from 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. I'm going to actually put it on here so that you can follow along. It's 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. That's a little confusing with the movement, isn't it? So major arpeggio, I'm going to get rid of that. You guys know this is called an arpeggio. Now I'm going to show you the scale degrees so that, oops, I don't want it to tick though. 1 second. Okay, so there we go. You have them right there. And you can see it's just going up and then coming back down on the scale degree. Sounds like this. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. You try. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. So we're still using that major scale. We're just skipping stuff, right? Here's the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So we're using 1, 3, 5, and 1. Here we go. And then we're going to keep going this time and move keys. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. Good. That was your major arpeggio. So between those are the building blocks. The major scale, the scale, understanding the relationship between each scale degree, the 5-note scale, and the major arpeggio. These are the things that are going to be our building blocks for warming up and training the voice and knowing how to kind of hit each of those in a very clean way. So I encourage you to go play around. I'm going to hop off here and get back to a client. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.